Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Tuesday night, which means it's time for CWR Asylum. As always, I am your host, the Ripper Danny B, and we're coming to you tonight from Sacramento, California. Your opening contest this evening is a match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from St. Louis, Missouri, he is the Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. And we are, of course, coming off the back of the huge Survivor Series pay-per-view, the tri-branded event. And what a success Survivor Series was. Thank you all for joining us in San Francisco. And Randy Orton, of course, was part of that card. He was an unscheduled part of that pay-per-view as he, John Cena, and Sheamus took on Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and The Undertaker of Revolt. And unfortunately, the Asylum boys came up short. Randy Orton is out here tonight to prove that what happened on Sunday is not a mark on the Viper. He is back here to prove that on Asylum, where the big boys play, he is still one of the most feared people on the roster. And his opponent this evening being accompanied to the ring by Victor, representing the Ascension, Connor. This will be the first time we've seen either member of the Ascension in action since being drafted to Asylum. And Connor looks to make a huge impact this evening as he takes on the Viper, the Apex Predator. And Randy Orton really looking to get his footing tonight as well. So this should be an interesting contest between two men who desperately want to prove themselves this evening. Of course, the Ascension going to be keeping an eye on the tag team division as well as the Revival, still holding those Asylum tag team championships, those world tag team championships. And now we get on to this one-on-one contest. Connor and Randy Orton one-on-one, and here we go. And Orton straight away just unloading on Connor. And as I was mentioned, the Revival, we haven't seen the Revival in a couple of weeks, but you've got to know that General Manager, the Rated R Superstar Edge, is keeping an eye on all things tag team, keeping an eye out for potentially the first challengers for the Revival, who of course won those championships in our first show a couple of weeks ago as they knocked off Luke Harper and Eric Rowan of the Wyatt family. Randy Orton, though, all-out assault on Connor to start this thing off, and you can't be surprised. Randy Orton is not in a good mood. He expected to go out at Survivor Series and make an impact, but hang on. Hold the boat. It's John Cena. John Cena is out here. What is Cena doing out here at ringside? Connor's taking advantage of Randy Orton inside the ring, but look at Cena. He's positioned himself in Randy Orton's corner. That is very interesting. What is Cena doing out here? But Randy Orton, I don't even think he's seen Cena yet. The power game of Connor just a little bit too much for Randy Orton there. Connor going to continue to wear things down. As you can see here, Connor has gone to the corner. Going to remove that turnbuckle pad. And there goes Randy Orton. Back first into it. Obviously, Connor came into this thing with a game plan. Randy Orton has been kind of taken to the side from it a little bit. Randy Orton, Luther's press there from Orton. Distinct move there from the Viper, and he continues now to feed his own adrenaline. Randy Orton went for a move, but Connor had it scouted, and I've got to give Connor all the credit in the world. You would have thought on paper that one-on-one Randy Orton would absolutely destroy the big man from the Ascension, but it's not happened that way so far. We're going to take you back just for a minute back to Survivor Series, because of course the interbranded tag team match was not the only thing that Asylum had to offer on that pay-per-view. We also saw Bray Wyatt teaming with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, his family, against Brock Lesnar and the Dudley Boys, and in a shocking move, Brock Lesnar was eliminated first. Bray Wyatt clean swept the entire team on the other side. Brock Lesnar is here tonight and he's not in a good mood. Connor looked like he was going to go for a cover there, but Victor actually had the referee distracted. And of course you can see a steel chair in there as well. That is the handiwork of Victor. Looks like the referee may want to do something about that in a moment. I think Randy Orton has finally spotted John Cena on the outside. Isn't distracting him for a second there. Big clothesline there from the Viper, and Randy Orton is feeling it once again. An elbow drop off the top there. Unusual for Randy Orton to go up the ropes, and in fact it was from the middle, not from the top. All the same, Randy Orton pulling out a few stops here. We've got another cover here from Connor. There's one. Randy Orton kicks out 1.5. Also on the Asylum side, we saw the Patriot Championship on the line. The Asylum representative Shinsuke Nakamura was able to beat both of Revolt's representatives, the former champion Rusev and Sami Zayn. Shinsuke Nakamura now Patriot Champion. We've got Randy Orton there with that vintage DDT, that spiking DDT off the middle rope. John Cena is loving this, and Victor is just going ballistic there as well. Randy Orton now going to set this thing up, and he's going to try and end this thing once and for all. RKO! Here's the cover from Randy Orton, but once again you saw Victor climbing up on the apron, distracting the referee. And Victor pays for it. A massive clothesline there from Randy Orton takes down Victor. Orton once again goes for the cover. There's 1, 2. Randy Orton not able to get the pinfall there, all thanks to the distraction from Victor, and that is excellent tag teaming there. Just goes to show you don't have to be in a tag team match to show some great tag team tactics, but Randy Orton is going to continue on. That knee to the skull, and he's going to wear down Connor now. He is not going to let him get away with what he's just done, but Connor comes back with a massive clothesline. We've also got to talk about the World Heavyweight Championship match that saw Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler all tangle in a tables match for the title. Dolph Ziggler able to throw Jericho through the table to retain the title. And tonight we will see the champions, as Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura will team up in our main event to face the New Day. And that one should be obviously a very hard hitting contest. As Asylum moves forward now, the next pay-per-view that you will see from Asylum will come in December, and that will be Apocalypse. No matches set just yet for that pay-per-view, but you got to know everybody's going to be looking for a chance to get onto that card and get on to prove themselves in Asylum's very first brand-specific pay-per-view. Randy Orton now just pandering to the crowd. Connor going to make him pay for it. Pulls Randy Orton in. Nice suplex throw there from Connor. Grab the arm. Randy Orton now in trouble. Orton gets hit with a flapjack, and Orton is now suffering. And Connor once again goes for the cover here. There's 1, 2. Randy Orton stays in this thing. It's a surprisingly competitive match from these two men here. Victor, of course, has had a big part to play in that. Randy Orton comes back, and RKO out of nowhere. Just look at that picture, perfect RKO. Connor looked like he was building some momentum, but it was all over and done with. There's 1, 2, 3. Victor back up on the apron there, trying to protest the win, but you can do what you want, but he did it. RKO out of nowhere ended that one. We're going to take a look back at some of the replays from this match, some of the highlights. Connor went for a pinfall, and it did look like a point that Connor had Randy Orton. And then Randy Orton would come back, and that spiking DDT there. Absolutely classic Viper. The first RKO. As you can see there, Victor right up on the apron, not allowing the referee to make the pinfall. Randy Orton saw it, dealt with Victor, went right back for the cover. Connor had enough time to recover, to kick out just after the 2. But after Connor tried to go for a big move, Randy Orton spun it around and RKO out of nowhere. And that was the 2. And finally the 3rd count, and Randy Orton picks up a big win in this matchup, and John Cena once again on the outside there congratulating Randy Orton. Can't wait to find out why John Cena was out there. He must have a reason for joining Randy Orton, but for now, Orton gets to bask in his own glory as we take a look at some of the highlights from the rest of the Asylum show. As you can see here, Jack Swagger was in action. He took on Heath Slater. 2 low draft picks for Asylum, but 2 guys that really want to try and, prove themselves and start walking up the ranks. As you can see here late in the match, Jack Swagger just took down Heath Slater, was able to pin Slater with a nice roll up there. Jack Swagger starting to build momentum, and you've got to think the former Patriot Champion is looking to get right back into that title hunt. And as I said, Brock Lesnar was in action. He was here tonight. His opponent was the man that was beaten in the triple threat match for the world title. That is, of course, Y2J Chris Jericho. Jericho did fight valiantly, but when it came down to it, Brock Lesnar had him up on the shoulders, delivered the F5. And that was it for Chris Jericho. Brock Lesnar picking up a much needed win. And you got to think he's got Bray Wyatt on his mind. He is going to be after Bray Wyatt as soon as he can do. But let's move on to our main event this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is a 2-on-2 tag team match scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, The New Day. This will be the first time New Day have shown their faces since the draft extension. Of course, in that group you have a former world champion in Big E, who of course took the title from Sheamus after winning Money in the Bank last year. Held that title for over 70 days before finally losing it to one of his opponents this evening, Shinsuke Nakamura, inside the Elimination Chamber. And these guys have all the potential in the world to hold pretty much all the championships. They, of course, can challenge for the tag team championships. Big E, the former world champion, going to be looking to get right back into the hunt for that title at some point. Each of these guys could challenge for the Patriot or Hardcore titles as well. They could go a long way to cementing themselves in one of those divisions with a win here tonight. If New Day win, they will be pinning a champion, and that's going to go a long way for these guys. As you can see here, it's going to be Xavier and Big E competing this evening. Their opponents, first from Osaka, Japan, he is the King of Strong Style, the CWR Patriot Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura becoming only the second man to have held both the World and Patriot Championships. Shinsuke tonight looking to continue his reign of dominance, the former world champion. Now he holds that Patriot title, and he holds it with pride for the very first time. The Patriot title adorned with the red sun of Japan. Nakamura gonna fight for his country, fight for his pride every single time he's in that ring holding that title now. You know that the former champion Rusev is going to be looking for a rematch, but the next time that Rusev will be able to challenge for that belt will be at the Revolt pay-per-view. Until then, Shinsuke Nakamura appears on Asylum. And it's up to General Manager Rated R Superstar Edge to come up with a new opponent for Nakamura as we head towards Apocalypse. Like I say, a win tonight for the New Day could go a long way into choosing that new challenger. And his partner this evening, residing in Hollywood, Florida, the show-off, the Beast Slayer, the CWR World Heavyweight Champion, Dolph Ziggler. Great defense of the title from Ziggler at Survivor Series. He also has to be looking towards his next challenger at Apocalypse. A little over a month away. Ziggler fought so hard to claim that championship, and he is not letting go of it anytime soon. But tonight it is not about the title, it is about working well with Nakamura, continuing to build his momentum. Ziggler can't afford to take a loss at this point. It's going to be Big E that starts things off against the Patriot Champion Nakamura. With no further ado, let's get this on. Shinsuke Nakamura with the German suplex right out of the back there, sending Big E crashing down onto the back of his head. Nakamura is not playing around. Strikes there from the King of Strong Style, and Big E just on the defensive, can't get anything going already. Nakamura just knocking him sideways. Took a little too long to gloat there though, did Shinsuke Nakamura, and Big E comes right back into this thing with a backbreaker. Strikes there from Shinsuke, and you do not want to keep getting caught by those strikes from Nakamura. And it looked like Big E was going to go for a big spear in the corner there, but Shinsuke had it scouted, turns it into a DDT right in front of Xavier Woods, and now the New Day are already on the defensive, but this could be dangerous for Nakamura. He does not want to be in that position. Big E brings it right back into the ring though. And I guess you've got to think the New Day aren't going to be looking for a disqualification this evening. They are not going to be wanting to lose this match that way. Xavier Woods now tagged in. Nakamura fights off Big E, but Xavier is right there behind him, and Woods turns this thing around. Nakamura off the ropes, and a super kick misses. A single leg drop kick from Nakamura turns this thing right back around. Woods coming in with a lot of momentum there with that turning DDT. Dolph Ziggler just standing there wanting to get into this thing. Submission move here from Woods, but Ziggler had it scouted. He was able to get in there, break it up, and this thing is broken down. Kofi Kingston staying on the outside, thankfully. Exploder slam there from Big E. Puts down Nakamura. Woods knocks Ziggler off the ropes. Xavier Woods, Topic on Hilo over the top. Back down to the legal two men in this thing. Now, of course, we want to bring you back to the very beginning of the show. Before the titles had even rolled, we saw Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens kind of collide backstage. No words were exchanged. But, you know, that's got to be telling. Kevin Owens is still in the hunt for the title. The title he believes he should have had a one-on-one match for at Survivor Series regardless. Nakamura now gets this thing into the corner, and for the first time, Dolph Ziggler is tagged into the competition. Look at that, double knees to the back. Great teamwork there from Nakamura and Ziggler. Taking full advantage of the 5 count here is Shinsuke, driving that boot down into the gut, and Dolph Ziggler is going to follow it up with a cover. There's the referee, there's one. You can see there Nakamura running in interference. Great German suplex as we turn our attention back to the two legal men in this matchup. Dolph Ziggler taking it to the middle rope now, goading Xavier Woods back to his feet, and you can feel the confidence coming off of Ziggler. There's the drop kick. He looked like he was going to get involved. He changed his mind. Nakamura got in there to try and make sure that everything stays on the up and up. The world champion now, though, is on a roll as he sends Woods back to the corner, and we see another tag here from Nakamura and Ziggler. Once again, some excellent tag team work there with the double elbows. You'd think ordinarily that New Day would have the tag team advantage. They know each other a lot better, but Nakamura and Ziggler are certainly holding their own as a tag team. There's a TKO there from Xavier Woods though. Woods setting up in the corner. You got to feel like he's going to go for that victory clothesline. Rolls it through. And there's the clothesline itself. Instead of going for the cover there, Woods sent Nakamura into the corner. Got blindsided by Ziggler. But Woods had an answer. Xavier Woods now has got his eyes on Dolph Ziggler. You see there the Shining Wizard from Woods. Nakamura misses with the clothesline, but Woods still has his attention on Ziggler. Nakamura is the legal man. And a belly-to-back suplex there made sure that Woods was aware of who he's supposed to be fighting, and Shinsuke Nakamura going to take advantage of that distraction. Pulls him up. Drops him with a suplex there. Nakamura slowing the pace down somewhat, clocking Woods over the back of the head. Xavier Woods disorientated. Nakamura strikes with the right hand onto the ropes. Goes Woods. Slingshot there from Nakamura. The King of Strong Style is in control here. Xavier Woods is just disorientated. Ziggler was calling for the tag there. Nakamura decided not to go for it. And a series of right hands there proves why he shouldn't have done the reverse imploder now. And Nakamura is feeling it. The crowd are coming alive and they know what's coming next. Here we go with the Kinshasa. And Dolph Ziggler trying to enter the ring, but the referee is paying more attention to Ziggler than he is to cover. Big E now in the ring instead. There's the cover now. There's 1, 2, 3. What happened there? Looked like Big E was going to try and run interference, but it didn't quite work out. Dolph Ziggler managed to clobber him from behind, stopping the interference, and Shinsuke Nakamura picked up the win. And we'll take a look back at some of the highlights of this matchup, including some excellent tag team work there from Nakamura and Ziggler with the double knees. This is earlier on when Ziggler had a cover. You can see there Nakamura working well to interfere. Back again to the tag team work on show from Ziggler and Nakamura with the double elbows there, knocking Xavier Woods down. And realistically, Woods just couldn't get anything going. He couldn't get back to Big E to tag him, and you can see E there going to try and turn it around and break it up. But Dolph Ziggler was there to knock him down as Nakamura picks up the 3 count. Well, here are your winners. The CWR World Champion Dolph Ziggler and the CWR Patriot Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Asylum. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more CWR every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow for Horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Take care. And remember to keep it smooth.